All right, we have talked about why you go strange on stage or on camera, and that it's all due to a stress response in your body. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Those are the stress responses / trauma responses, and they are activated in you as soon as you're in a critical impact situation, and they manifest or symptomize in waffling or speaking really fast or speaking quite aggressive or getting a little bit too loud or becoming very, very quiet or having your voice go up. Like this is definitely connected to a shutdown of the neurofrontal cortex, so your brilliance is limited and your reptilian brain is activated because you just want to get the hell out of the situation, but you can't. And to be so trapped in this spotlight is one of the most uncomfortable things that we witness too many people do on a regular basis. So today we're going to talk about what to do about it. If the issue is a nervous system activation, the solution is nervous system regulation. So how do we regulate a nervous system? And how do we build the nervous system out and build out the capacity to not get stressed in the first place? Now, let's do one at a time. How do we regulate a nervous system? You will have heard the word I'm going to say in a minute many, many, many times, but do not dismiss its importance. The way that your nervous system is regulated is by... Do we have sound effects in the studio? Where's the drum roll? We need a drum roll. Breathing. Breathing. The breath is the conduit to both your stress and your nervous system regulation. When you see somebody really nervous, anxious in their responses, look at the way that they're breathing. They often are not, or not sufficiently. And that's where you can already see somebody starting to lose it or then lose it. They can't start speaking and hold the breath like that. You've seen people speak like that in staccato, right? To actually take breaths when you are in the spotlight is a courageous act. Why? Because it takes space. When you breathe, you take your time. You take space. That can feel really unnerving when you're not feeling safe. So remember, everything is about not just nervous system regulation, but do I feel safe in myself? And when we are in a new situation, when we meet a new person, the first response that our system has is to evaluate, is this a friend or a foe? So therefore, by default, we're not wired to feel safe. We are wired to check it out and not be sure. That is normal. That is healthy. So we're not going to criticize that and we're not going to change that. However, what happens afterwards is everything. So, do I dare to breathe? Do I dare to evaluate and decide that the situation is safe? That's the big difference here. So, the leaders who are anxious and remain anxious have either made the unconscious decision or just haven't decided yet whether they're safe or not. Therefore, the subconscious is running the show. I don't know if I'm safe. I don't know if they like me. Well, if they don't like me, they haven't smiled. This guy's looking at his phone. Oh my God, Gary's just walked out the door. Sugar. And they're feeding back information of the signs that tell them, well, I'm not safe. And therefore, amplifying the stress response that they have in their body. Versus so-called confident leader. And I say so-called confident because actually confidence is a byproduct, not a prerequisite, not a thing you just have or don't have. But a so-called confident leader is someone who decides, I'm all right. I'm okay. There's no tiger in the room, and even if there was one, I don't mind. Even if there's somebody yawning in the room, I don't mind. I think actually I invite it. I think it's a wonderful thing. When people are yawning in seminars that I give, I compliment them because it means that they're relaxing and that they're feeling safe enough to let themselves shift down a gear. So I'm all for it. You're taking more oxygen into your body. That's a very different response I have for myself here than somebody who goes, oh no, somebody yawned. They hate me. This is boring. Oh, I'm losing the room. Do you see? So the information you feed yourself back directly informs how you are feeling safe or unsafe in your nervous system. Okay, Now, we're talking about nervous system regulation and the fact that it is all coming through the breath. The first time I spoke to you, I said the reason why most leadership training doesn't work is when people say, just breathe deeper. You can't actually do it because the diaphragm, which is the muscle you need to relax in order to take a deeper breath, is literally the first muscle that spasms up when you are under stress, when you're excited, when you're nervous. So now what to do? Usually people start breathing from up here more and then trying to take deeper breath and then just becoming more breathless. And then they have to cover that up and then the whole thing just becomes amplified. And oh, my neck is getting stiff and the whole thing is becoming a bit hyper. Maybe you've been in one of those trainings that told you that actually having great and much energy is what you need to sell and bring your point across. But the truth is, it's actually really exhausting for you and for your audience. So back to the question, how do you get to take those deeper breaths under stress? Are you ready for the answer? Because I can't wait to give it to you. Okay, here it is. You don't take a deep breath. You can't. But what you can do is breathe out and push all the air that you have out to the extent that there's nothing left. Like this. And then relax the belly and let the air drop back in. Do that again. Do it with me whilst we're here together. All the way out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out, out. Relax and let the air drop back in. This works because you're overriding the natural cramping by pushing all the air out. Then you have no other choice but relax. The air drops in. What happens when the air drops in? The belly expands and you automatically have a deeper breath, thereby a reset of your breathing mechanism. And the information transmitted straight to your brain, you're safe, you're good, you just took a deep breath. Because we only take deep breaths when we're safe, right? And I think this is so exciting to teach people. Because most of the time when people say take a deep breath, they're trying to take a deep breath on a cramped up diaphragm, and it just propagates the issue of the flat breath, but now with more with more pressure. Pressure out, relax, and let the breath drop in. That's how you reset. Would you agree that someone with a regulated nervous system, someone who feels calm and comfortable in themselves, is way more easy to listen to than somebody who is under this constant electric pressure? Good. Then we're on the same page. If you prefer stressed out people to listen to, I personally find it really, really grating when people are under this continuous amount of stress, because the energy does transmit to the viewer and the listener. So why don't we just create more well-being all around? I think that would be a really valuable addition to leadership development. Lead with energy that is sustainable, that is creative, and that allows other people to thrive. Is it just me? Come on. Okay. So the nervous system regulation works through the breath. One of the tips that I gave you was to reset your breathing. Obviously, there's a lot more where that came from, and it's not something that just by knowing one trick, you now know how to implement all the time, but it is a really good start. Next, we want to talk about how to build the capacity so that your nervous system doesn't automatically go into a stress response just because you are on a stage. Now, I say just because it is a pretty big deal to be on a stage or talking to a camera, because it's not a natural environment for most. It is a really unnatural environment. And here you are being expected to act natural. Just speak like you always would. But I don't always speak to a black hole. But I don't usually look into a bright light and have hundreds or thousands of people looking back at me. So why don't we just be honest with it? It's an unnatural environment. So in order for you to feel okay and safe in it, we need to build your capacity to hold intensity. So number one, let's get honest. It is intense and it's not natural. And number two, let's build your capacity to hold this intensity. How do we do that? Not with a 3-point system, but with practice, with what I call exposure therapy. This is why I love to work with people in the room and put them under perceived pressure. And then we learn how to play with this and how to relax into it. It's so much fun. It's actually really gratifying. And the feedback that I get is how surprised people are that it's so much more fun than they think. Because of course, at this point where you're standing, it might be sounding terrifying and really not like a lot of fun. And I promise you, if we work together, we will make this enjoyable. Okay. Now that we've understood that we need to build capacity and regulate our breathing, the next question becomes, how do I lead a meeting on Teams or on Zoom where I don't have direct feedback from my audience? I'll see you there.